Hi all, welcome back to Yoga Girl in the Real World. Today we're going to be dealing with hamstrings. Most people who practice yoga will tell you one thing about hamstrings is that they teach you patience because they take a really long time to stretch out and they take a really long time for them to become flexible. Partially that's because we do a lot of walking, or we live, again, a very sedentary lifestyle where we're sitting all the time and we're putting pressure back here where our hamstrings are. So a lot of people have knee issues and ankle issues, calf issues. They don't realize that a good majority of these are actually stemming from the hamstring itself. If the hamstring is too tight and doesn't allow for some flexibility, then you're going to have issues going down the leg because it's all connected. So one of the best ways to start loosening up the hamstrings is with a forward bend, and it's the big toe pose. And it's actually a really good stress reliever too. So if you're under a lot of stress, it's a great way to decompress your body. But first thing I want to bring to your attention is when you're dealing with standing poses, you need to find your balance. They call it mountain pose. And what that means is that you want to stand tall and straight like a mountain. So to do that, you want to stand with your feet about a hip width apart. And then you want to make sure that I'm going to turn to the side here. You want to make sure that your tailbone is as tucked toward the front of your body as possible. And you want to make sure that your shoulders are dropped so that you're not doing this. And then you just want to relax. And when you find a center like this, the next step is to find which way your weight shifts. And what I mean by that is that you're going to close your eyes and you're going to feel if you're gravitating toward the front or if you're gravitating back towards your heels. What you're looking to do is create an even distribution of your weight underneath your feet. So you want to have an even distribution of weight from the toe to the heel and the foot as flat to the floor as you possibly can have it. So starting from mountain pose, we're going to take a deep breath in. You can close your eyes, find your center, make sure your core is pulled in, your tailbone is tucked toward the front of your body, shoulders are down. Close your eyes, feel which way your weight is going to gravitate towards, and look for a balance. And then we're going to inhale, bringing the arms up. For the last three fingers lock, the pointer and thumb point up towards the ceiling. And we're going to inhale and slightly arch back. And as we exhale, we're going to come forward and we're going to roll. I want you to be mindful of how you're rolling. Most people, when they bend, they tend to do this. And they're actually only bending with their back. They're not actually bending with the rotation joints that are in your hips for this reason. So we're going to do that again. We're going to inhale, arch back, exhale, and come forward, rolling forward from the hip itself. So I want you to pause the video and just try to practice that a couple of times so that you get a hang of the motion of going forward from the hip and not the back, not the lower back, but the actual hip. The next part of this pose is, and I'm going to step off my mat a little bit so that you can see what I'm doing. You're going to inhale, pointing up, arching back. As we exhale, pull the core in, roll yourself forward. And for those of you who are able to get down to the floor, you want to go ahead and grab hold of your big toes. When you grab hold of your big toes, you're actually using acupressure to de-stress your body. And then you're going to allow your head to just hang down, let the neck relax, and you're going to feel the stretch coming up the back of your legs, usually starting from either the knee or just underneath, and coming up the back of your thighs. Some people will feel it here in the buttocks. But what we're looking to do is just relax into that pose. Now, I'm aware that not all of you are this flexible. So some of you are going to have some knee issues. If you need to go ahead and bend those knees a little bit to protect them, you go right ahead and do that. If you can keep your legs straight comfortably and you can only reach your calves, that's fine. As you practice this pose, on your inhales, you pull the core further back. Exhaling, you roll a little bit further forward until you can finally get yourself down to the floor. It takes time and patience. Hence, hamstrings teach you patience. So when we come up, we roll up slowly. We bring the arms back up, arch back, inhale, come up, and down into prayer pose. So that's a pose that you can work on. It's also a really great foundation pose for standing poses themselves or standing asanas. I'm going to break my own rule and use a Sanskrit term. So from the forward bend is actually how we're going to get into downward facing dog, which also stretches your hamstrings. So I'm going to pull my mat back just a wee bit. And this is going to be a two-part video because I'm going to do the standing poses and then I'm going to film another one for stuff that you can do on your back. So if you're not quite ready for an upright position yet, don't worry, it's coming. So we're going to inhale, stretching back. Exhale, pull the core in, roll forward, come all the way down. And if you can reach the floor with your full palms, fabulous. If you can only reach it with your fingertips, as long as you have a good balance, that's okay. If you can't and you need to bend the knees a little bit to get down to the floor, that's fine too. So I'm going to step back a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. We're going to take a breath in. Exhale, roll forward. Coming down. And we're going to step right and then left and push. And we're pushing into downward facing dog. So I'm going to come over here, maybe a little bit of a bigger view. Forward, down, right, then left, and stretching back. Now to come out of this, inhale, lift the head slightly. Exhaling, left foot first, then the right, and then you come up, like you do from a forward bend. So those are two very strong foundations that you should work on before proceeding into anything else so that you can have a good grasp on balance, first of all, and second of all, you'll start to really loosen these up. The next pose is an extended triangle pose, and when you think of triangle, you think of this. So you're going to use that. You're going to step the feet apart so that your bottom half looks like a triangle. But instead of forcing the feet to face forward, you're going to allow the feet to face out just a little bit. We're going to inhale, arms come up, palms face down. We're going to turn the left foot to the left. Inhale. As you exhale, you're going to bring the right arm around down to the floor next to the foot as much as you can. And you're going to turn the head to look up at the left so that you don't strain the arm. Now again, if you have issues in the knee and you need to bend the knee slightly, you go ahead. And then we'll inhale, and we're going to push ourselves up using the right hand. Inhale. Exhale. Pushing ourselves up, come up nice and slow, and twist back to center. Now we got to do the other side. So we're going to bring the left foot to face forward, and we're going to turn the right foot out. Keeping the arms extended out, shoulders nice and dropped, not up here, down. Inhale. As you exhale, twist, bring the left hand now down toward the right foot, right arm extends, and you turn the head to look up at the right arm. Again, if you need to bend the knee, you go ahead. And we'll take a breath in. And as we exhale, we're going to use the left hand to push ourselves up, coming up slowly. twisting back to center, and let the arms drop at the sides. So you're stretching the hamstring, but you're also stretching the inner thigh. So you may have a little bit of pain there, and that's actually really normal. So we're gonna stay in this pose, and we're gonna allow the toes to kind of point outward, just a pitch. It's not a lot. You're not completely putting your legs out, to see what happens when you do that. So starting from a mountain pose with the legs extended. So we wanna make sure our tailbone's tucked toward the front, back is nice and straight, shoulders are dropped. Inhale up, keep the palms facing outward. Exhaling, we're gonna roll forward. Again, we're rolling forward from the hip, and we're gonna bring the palms all the way down to the mat, as far as you can go. Now again, if you can only do your fingertips, that's fine. If you need to bend your knees slightly, that's okay too. If you can get your palms all the way down to the floor, that's great. That's actually what you're looking to achieve with this, at least for this part of it. And if you need to adjust yourself as you go and open the legs a little bit more for comfortability, you can, until you can get yourself where you can keep them just about, a little over a hip width. And now we're gonna turn the palms to face inward toward the body. And we're gonna let the head hang down. We're just gonna take a couple of deep breaths, and you should be feeling this in the knee and toward the inner thigh. And then as we inhale, we're gonna come up, turn the palms around. Exhale, pull your core in and use that momentum to come back up fully erect. Inhale, exhale, and come down. So those are some great poses for you to start working out your hamstrings with. And in the next clip, we're gonna do some floor stuff. We're gonna do on the back, supine asanas, supine poses to help with the hamstrings as well. We're also gonna do a couple of seated ones. So look forward to seeing you guys in the next clip. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please feel free to leave it below. See you in the next one.